All right, guys, we were going out to eat, but we saw this one place up here. We're on a 45-minute wait for the restaurant. So we are going to come up here and check out these cars.
Hot rod cars. Hot rod muscle cars.
Yes, hot rod muscle cars. So we're gonna, did we pass it?
No, it's okay.
Oh, okay. Hey guys, welcome to our 2022 highlight show, as well as to our second anniversary. Our second anniversary was on December 28th. And we're also doing our 2022 highlight show. We're going to first talk about some highlights, show you some highlights of the year. Then we're going to talk about how the show has evolved, how it came to be, answer some questions. And yes, by the way, we've put 100,000 miles in the last 2 years traveling around the country, so figure on that. We'll tell you all about the channel, how it came to be. Give a shout out to some of you guys who always put the comments down, who have been with us since the beginning, and talk about some of our favorite episodes. So stay tuned. We're going to first start out with a highlight reel. So welcome to another episode of Junkyards and Barn Finds with Sean, and I'm Sean. All right, guys, let's start out with a couple highlights of what we did this year, and then we'll come back and do some shout outs. Sounds like a plan. There's a judge up here. Is that a judge right there? You got the orange paint of a GTO judge. It's possible. Hey, good morning, guys. We are up in Georgia, and there's April.
Good morning.
And we are driving down to Lake City, and it's a freezing cold day out. It's December. It's a week or two before Christmas, and a couple things have changed. One of the things that changed is this little guy right there. Right here, right? This little guy who showed up one day without a collar.
Showed up this morning.
No collar. All right, guys, we are in the sales paddock. So all the cars you see here are for sale. We're gonna take a look around at some of the stuff here and see what it goes for. All right, so here's a 70 Chevelle with a couple pieces of new sheet metal. Hey everybody, thanks for coming back to watch more of our trip to Old Car City in White, Georgia. So please check out both Camera A and Camera B videos. They are totally different. And if you like this kind of thing, please subscribe, put down any comments you have. Ring the bell if you want to see more. And we appreciate everybody for watching. And like I said, we got a bunch of videos from here. It is the world's oldest and largest junkyard. All right, guys, so that's I-75 up there. It's like 5:30 in the evening. It's the week of Thanksgiving. And I always wanted to come here and stop. I never did. I've passed it 100 times. But tonight, I thought, you know what? I need a break from driving. So we're gonna stop. It's right off the interstate. I just wanted to get a quick break and get gas. So guess where we are? We are at Summit Racing Equipment right here in Atlanta, Georgia. It's actually, I don't know if it's in Atlanta. It feels like Atlanta. So we're gonna go in and see if they're gonna let us come in, maybe walk around, show what you can buy here. I mean, these cars, guys, these are like show cars that have incredible engines in them. These are just like feats of engineering. Hey, good morning, guys. We are up near Wekiwaki Springs. Hey guys, we're gonna come back and take a look at that car and that Javelin and a whole bunch of 401s. I kind of like this Cobra. It's got like the essence of the Cobras, what they were designed for. So this basically has the essence of racing to it, not show car, more race car. I like that. All right, guys. I have been here for 6 hours straight. For 6 hours, we have walked into car after car after car, everything else. And so now we are in the very last room. And so let's take a look at the last one. If you've lasted this long, congratulations. We have looked at almost 1,000 cars so far. Hey guys, thanks for watching us and joining us for our 2nd anniversary special, I guess it is. So we have been on YouTube since December 28th, 2020. And quick story about how this channel got started was I was a teacher at the time, teaching middle school, and the school I was teaching at had asked me, because I have a background in working in television and stuff prior to teaching, if I could come up with a way to teach kids audio and video. And I thought a YouTube channel would be great. Well, turns out I don't have a degree from education in audio video. I just had gone to film school and worked in the movie and television business, and that's not good enough for middle schoolers to learn from. So at the end of that Christmas break in December 2020, I was told I couldn't teach it, but I had already come up with a channel and an idea to teach kids to get them to do this. So we started the channel, and that is how we got started. It was purely accident. It was not made originally to make money. It was just kind of to teach kids. We never got to teach the kids, so we instead just put it up because I love cars. I've raced cars. I've owned over 45 cars. I've worked on cars since I've been a kid. And the very first video, as you can see over my shoulder right here, episode number 1 was 1957 Chevy Classic car build, which was shot on an old big VHS camera when I was 18, 19, and I had a 57 Chevy, and I had filmed it back then just because my dad had a video camera and a lot of people didn't have it, so I filmed myself working on that car. And so that was where that video came from. One of our next videos, which I think is episode 4, was me driving around in my Corvette to Doylestown, Pennsylvania. And that was to give me some video, because back then we didn't have the internet and everything, and I was going overseas in the military. So it was just driving around my hometown in my Corvette looking at different things. And who knew that I would have a YouTube channel, because YouTube didn't exist. The internet didn't exist at that time. Anyway, so that's how we got started on here, and that's what started me. And now we're 3.8 million views later. And we have, I think, 18,700 subscribers. We have over 620 videos. And we are just hitting our 2-year mark. So, anyway, I kind of wanted to do a little thing. So we're basically, first I want to give out some shout outs, because there are some people that have been with a long time. There's a lot more of you as well. But these are people that since really the beginning have commented all the time. So if you're somebody who been with us, please comment under here when you started watching, because I'm really curious as to when people started watching. Some of you guys had sponsored or didn't sponsor with money, but sponsored with support. The truck when we went through the Junkyard Power, Junkyard Power Tour, the Hot Rod Power Tour this year, and we put your names on our truck. But so let me give a call out to a couple people. I want to say Dan May. Dan has always commented. He's always been nice to both myself and April, always been compassionate and caring. The same with Auto Salvage Outlaws. You guys are great. Check their channel out, Auto Salvage Outlaws. Those guys have always supported us through day in, day out. Dave. Yes, there's a guy named Dave. That's his. So I don't know. He must have been the only first Dave that was on YouTube, because his channel is called Dave. Excellent man. He's won some of our stuff. I think I've shipped more stuff to him. He wins a lot of prizes with us for some reason. We've got Karen Fire. Karen, thank you so much. Always nice things to say. Really, Karen knows a lot about cars. Throttle Power, you guys are great. Kyle, thank you so much, Kyle. Kevin Rosinger, you've seen Kevin on the show, but he's been around since way before he ever had a vehicle on our show. Randy, Edwin, Bonnell, Terry, Eustace. Terry is just knowledge. If you ever read his comments, man, he knows more than I think I'll ever know. Carl has been not with us since the beginning, but he's been with us for a long time, and he always has really good insights, lots of information on the videos, and I love reading him. Brian's Hobby. Now, Brian's Hobby, go check his channel out. The same with Brian. He talks and puts out stuff that is not just generous, but knowledgeable. Russell's Garage. So we met Russell on the Hot Rod Power Tour. He had been watching us before, I believe, but we helped with his channel, and Russell's been a good friend. We've shown up a couple places on each other's channel, and he is a great guy. Check out Russell's Garage. And then Scotty Parker. Scotty, I think Scotty's been with us since like day one. I don't even know. He's been with us since really beginning. And Scotty, again, great words to say, good encouragement whenever we've had issues. 1966 Chevy van. I believe you live up in Canada. You've won something, but I think it got lost getting to Canada, and it's hard to send stuff to Canada because they don't tell you if they just keep it. For some reason, there's some things you could send and some things you don't, and I don't know why that is. But you know, these guys have all, Randy, like I said, and then David Maggard. And I haven't heard from David in a long time, but he was one of the very first ones. And our very first 2 comments on the whole channel, which is well over, you know, what we have, 3.7 million views, I think, today, was Pixelated and Hawaiian Style Garage. Now, Pixelated and Hawaiian Style Garage, I don't know if they're still around. Pixelated, he has a small channel, and they both commented on my 57 Chevy. If you go and watch episode number 1, you can still see their comments there, and I even say, you're the first person to ever comment on our channel. And it just was cool. It was the very first time I knew somebody actually watched what we put up. You know, sometimes you see views. I think at the time we had maybe 150 total views, and so those guys were really cool helping us get started. And I want to shout out, now there's a lot of others out there that I am missing. I mean, there's thousands I am missing. There's a lot of people who have helped me out here. And there's people that appear on the channel, didn't really like Wrench Every Day. I spoke and sat with him, and he's on, I think, what episode is Wrench Every Day on? I wrote it down. He's on episode 079. And episode 79 was kind of special because that was the debut for Vice Grip Garage of their Independence Chevelle. And they were down at Cletus McFarland's place down here in South Florida at the Freedom Factory. And at the Freedom Factory, I saw them. They were debuting Independence. I got to talk. I got my own t-shirt from Vice Grip Garage. talked to them. That's when I met them for the first time. I met Derek. I met his wife. His wife was super nice because I only had $20 in cash, but the shirts were $25, and she's like, "Here, just take it. Don't worry about it." They were nice. This is really before they had taken off a little bit, but not where they are now. Not spectacularly like they are now. They're crazy. But it was the debut of the Independents, and so that was really special because I put that video up with, and I told them it's okay to put up. They're like, "Yeah, go ahead, put it up." I put it up, and I think it's gotten over 90,000 views, and that was my first really viral video, was the debut of the Independents, which I kind of accidentally put up. And I appreciate, they were so nice. I've seen them and said hi to them at a couple other events ever since. And Derek is the nicest guy in the world. I never say, I think sometimes people see where I put things up. Like, I wasn't sure if he was leaving because of the show that he had. And there were some things I just put up because I'm a viewer. I was a paying member of his before I had a channel, still was. And I just kind of was curious because sometimes you see things and you don't know what's going on. Okay, so those are my shout outs to the people that have been there. And they said, if I missed you, please put in the comments. I'm happy to do this again. So now I want to go over a couple of my favorite episodes. And the one that's coming up, and that is when we have viewers videos. So if you look at episode 380, in 2022, we had our first annual viewers vehicle video. And so I asked people to email us at junkyardsandbarnfinds@gmail.com a picture of their car, and if they want to tell a little story about it, and then we put it up on video. We're going to have another one this Memorial Day. So right now is if you guys want to, please email a photograph of, or a video link if you want, but a photograph would be probably better. If you could send that to a JPEG form to junkyardsandbarnfinds@gmail.com. And that way we will have that. We can start putting that together. And on Memorial Day, I put up a video that's dedicated to you guys and your cars. The same as when I went on the power tour, people said, why didn't I bring a car? Because it was about you guys. This channel is about you. It's about all you out there who have cars who don't have a channel, or maybe don't want a channel, or maybe don't have the way of putting up channels, so that I can come to your house, I can come to your car show, I can come to a garage, I can go to a junkyard, an event, racetrack, whatever, and we put your stuff on our channel. And that's what it is. I've owned a bunch of cars, but guys, honestly, this is about everybody else's cars. Most of the channels you see are about the person who builds the cars for that channel, and that's wonderful, and we all like that. But this channel is about your cars. So send me an email, JPEG of your car with some info about it. It doesn't have to be one you own now. It could be one you owned 25 years ago. It could be a picture of you and your dad in 1950, 60, 70, 80, 90, 2011, your favorite car from high school, whatever, and we will put it up this year. All right, so one of the things with this channel is we didn't really know what it was going to be. I kind of liked watching the Barn Finder channel, but he never told you where stuff was. And I liked guys that found cars, and I liked cars in general. So that's the idea of this, was I was just going to go out and try to find cars and make some videos of them, and hopefully found something in a barn find, which is not as easy as you think it is. The reason I always wear shirts and hats, and people say, why do you have a laminate and why do you have all this stuff, is so I don't get shot if I pull up to your house on a Monday morning and tell you I want to take videos of your car that's in a garage I can't see. And a perfect example of this was when we went to a barn, Father's Day of 2021. And I think that is in episode, let's see, which one was that? That was episode 123 and 124. And I think it's called Barn Finds and Chickens. And 123 and 124, we went, it was Father's Day morning, about 10 a.m. I saw an old Lincoln and some other cars under car covers near a barn up in Pennsylvania. And I just stopped. It was like 9 o'clock in the morning. I stopped, knocked on the door. There was all these signs: stay off the property, dogs are here, we'll shoot you, you'll die, we'll bury you. Every sign in the world that says don't come on this property. So of course I went and knocked on the door, and I am 6'2", 275, and a man much bigger than I came out. Turned out to be the kindest gentleman in the world. Took us into his barn where he had everything from Cobra jets from the 70s to, I believe, a Boss Mustang, to an SS 454 Chevelle, to you name it, it was in there. Even one of the cars that Roush himself built that raced back in like our late 60s, he had built the rear end in this race car. Jack Roush, it was one of his cars. It was there. So I've done a lot of stuff where I've just shown up on places and things have happened. Another one of my favorites was an episode called Hidden for 40 Years. Let me see, which one was that? Hidden, episode 209. And 209 was a Corvette that still had its Avon racing tires on it. And this car last raced and was last seen around 1972 at Le Mans. And it was recently found, and it was shipped from California. You can watch the video to hear the whole story. And to a friend of mine's little shop, he called me up. I went down there. We took videos of it, and then it has now disappeared again. So we have no idea where it went. So there's some of our favorites of those. There's a lot of other favorites here. We had the one-of-one Shelby. And they also, the gentleman that owns that also owns a Hennessy Viper. We've had the Johnny Cash Garage, which is episode 401, the one-of-one Shelby and Hennessy Vipers episode 239. We have had episode 401, like I said, Johnny Cash's Garage, which has had over 800,000 views. Episode 1, which is me and my Chevy, 57 Chevy, where you'll see a real skinny young me with hair and a lot thinner. That's one of my favorites. Episode 380, which is the annual viewers video. That's one of our favorites. One of the most confusing favorites we've had is episode 316. And April and I were up in Sevierville, Tennessee. Her brother lives up there, and we were up there, and you could see some videos from there. But we went out to dinner that night, and the restaurant it could have been Dolly Parton Way. I'm not sure which road it was up there, but right near Pigeon Forge. And there was a restaurant, and we were on a wait at this restaurant. And so we just thought, well, I had the camera in the truck. Let's go see if we could find something. We drove up the street. There was a used car place there that had a bunch of old cars in 50s and 60s and 70s there, plus a school bus and some other things. And so we went there. The video was, I never thought that video would do anything. And it's got well over 100,000 views. All right, guys. We were going out to eat, but we saw this one place up here. We're on a 45-minute wait for the restaurant. So we are going to come up here and check out these cars.
Hot rod cars. Hot rod muscle cars.
Yes, hot rod muscle cars. Another one of the things that we did while we were coming up with this channel is I started building models and model car kits. I haven't built them in 35 years, and so we started building some. And one of my favorite builds was what episode was that? Episode 274, which was we built a kit in real time in about an hour. It was a NASCAR car, the Havoline NASCAR model kit. We built it start to finish, no edits, in 1 hour. And that was one of the coolest videos I think that we've done so far. I like that one. Let's see, what else? So we also had, when we went up to, we've now gone, 3, 2, 1. All right, guys, so we've now gone to Carlisle, Pennsylvania for both the GM show and last year and the Mopar show this year. Now I've gone to a lot of them before that, the Ford shows and everything else, but for the channel, as a channel, we've been there. And the first year we went there, the GM Nationals, there was a 1-of-1 GTO that had been in a couple magazines back in the early 80s and 90s, but that was it. And that was episode 133. And that was cool finding that car. That was one of my favorites episodes right there. And then another favorite was a recent video. Another video that we did, and that was earlier this year, could find, was Rusty Gillis's original Boss Mustang, one of the prototypes Boss Mustang. We did a video of this, and we found this pure by accident, just driving around an industrial park and seeing some cars being worked on. And we go in there, and Rusty, who was a drag racer, who owned this, one of three, I think the only surviving prototype of Boss cars, and that was a really cool video as well. So that's like kind of the barn finds that the idea was behind this, was to find cars that weren't out in the open that nobody knew about, even though they were right in their hometown. Some of the other ideas we had about this was, like I say, besides just climbing into barns and chicken coops and going into garages and knocking on people's doors, like the pink Cuda that we found up in Bucks County earlier this year, because the back end of it had been sticking out of a garage at a food stand. Finding cars in the woods and just people calling us up and saying, hey, guess what I have in my garage? Also, we visited a lot of places on camera. We visited NASCAR races. We got to sit this year at the Pocono Raceway. And we could reach out and basically touch the cars if we wanted to. Probably get kicked out, but we were that close, so we could reach and touch the cars on pit road during the race. We went a couple years ago, but we put up the video this year of going to Davis-Monthan Air Force Base, which is known as the Military Aircraft Boneyard out in the desert of Arizona. And we went there and we put that video up. Excuse me. We found a lot of movie cars. Most of them would be at a show here and there, but we found, like in Gatlinburg, we found the movie cars up there. We found movie cars in down in Venice and everywhere in between. We have gone to Dale Earnhardt's Dale Jr. Well, actually, we went to Dale Earnhardt at RCR Racing headquarters. We went to Dale Jr.'s racing headquarters, to his Dirty Mo Media studio right there. We went to Kyle Busch's headquarters, which now isn't going to be Toyota, but that's his headquarters right there. We've climbed through Old Gold up in Junkyards, Classic Car Junkyards is Old Gold in Old Town, Florida. We went to J&J out near Stark, Florida, the Mopar Horde. We found the AMC, excuse me, we found an AMC Horde in New Jersey. And then what episode was that? I'll put the episodes up below for the AMC Horde. We found Vicks up in South Carolina, up in the mountains. All these cool places we took you to. Old Car City up in White, Georgia. We've gone to the Turkey Run at Daytona. We've gone on the Hot Rod Power Tour. We've gone to car shows in everywhere from Moultrie, Georgia to Hatboro, Pennsylvania to Arcadia, Florida to New Smyrna Beach. Thank you guys so much. And as always, we're going to end with April. So have a great new year. I hope we have a better new year. And stay safe. Thank you so much. And I hope to meet every one of you guys at some point while we're traveling around the country. I'll talk to you later. Oh, if you're in a car club, feel free to let me know of any car shows coming up. Email the dates and times so we can look at that too, because I love to know when there's car shows coming up or car clubs or cruise-ins, or if you have a little, if you have a collection or you have a really cool car you want me to come to, feel free to reach out at Junkyards and Barn Finds at junkyardsandbarnfinds@gmail.com. All right, God bless. Thank you, folks. April, should they subscribe to this channel even if they don't like cars today for this one?
Probably just for this one.
Where it says merchandise store right here, merchandise store link, you will see it says https:/junkyards-barn-finds, and you click on that and it's going to take you here.